Pluto in Sagittarius as a generation. Pluto in Scorpio. I'm just looking at the Pluto dynamic as death, rebirth, destruction, deconstructing, the underworld, the underworld, the under-earthly world, and the lower vibratory or heavier, dense world. If you think about it, the heavier version of this world, which is death, is rebirth. The death is so heavy, so ominous, luminous, that it just anchors down. And when you're anchored to something above you, way above you, that can move around, that can bounce around. So while that has a sense of attachment or a sense of life that is mutable in its fluidity, you being the solid grounded thing have a role, an ecosystem. Something is aware of you as a whole, as an anchor, as a groundedness. So we were grounded in the transformation of a fixed desire. And you know how powerful that is when you do that on your own, without anything external, to transform a transformer, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are so unhinged and original when you crash into someone else that might be so uniquely themselves in a stubborn way. It transforms the desires. It transforms the desires that we are fixed on, and how people manipulate those desires. Like I'm saying, like, just all of 9/11, the traumatic, the trauma of war on drugs, introduction of laptops in the school, you know what I'm saying, of pervertedness, and just seeing that at an early age from basically the generation that we're looking at now, as we're all healing our inner child. And our inner child is safe and fair and vulnerable enough because it's guarded, but it's an individual. Like, yeah, a Scorpio would sting itself, but a Scorpio would, like the inverted Leo, would love itself, but not have a pride or honor about being with itself. It's because it has to. And by default, its aura is a magnet, so it's going with the magnetic energy of what people are attracted to, and it's assuming, 9 times out of 10 that people are using the aura versus the energy that it is within itself as a whole. So we as a generation came up on that, transforming a desire, transforming or taking power and control over power and control, what power looks like, what control looks like, what fighting over it in manipulative ways, how that comes across, because we learned from the generation before us how they're all up front, you know what I'm saying? They were, or generations back when Pluto was in Libra per se, how it all trickles down. Transformation, power, control over relationships, balancing, communicating, left wing, right wing, how that generation, our parents and stuff, left, it's got to be one or the other. It's got to be balanced, or a balanced kind of work, because Saturn is exalted there, but Saturn is coming out of Aquarius, an air sign. So while they have that going for them, you know what I'm saying, as having the game sold up and having us confused off our kilter, you know what I'm saying, as we are deep into the, Scorpio coils so deep within itself, you know what I'm saying, that it becomes the underworld, and we're forgetting that's the surface level. There's waters that we can come out, there's levels that we can come out or sprout out of, like a seed out of hard ground, because you don't automatically plummet down to the bottom of the ocean or escalate yourself. You're gonna get lightheaded, your skull might explode, or you might get debilitated, your ears might pop, your air circuits might get clogged and stop working, and it's too much depth and too much raising up. So as we heal our inner child out of the depths, we have to take baby steps to go up, and baby steps to return as our adult selves and our Saturn returns and energies of that matter and things, matter. So I'm looking at the Pluto in Sagittarius generation, like we're really transforming and taking power and control over how we experience things, how we teach. Like how you take power and control over an experience. Like you're supposed to just go through it, or like take it on the chin and be manipulative, like somehow Pluto and Scorpio, my generation. But no, they're like, nah, we're gonna transform and take power and control over the experience itself. We ain't gonna experience it unless it looks how we want it to look. And it's not fixated on its own way. So it's a bunch of ideas, a bunch of gathering around the campfires, a bunch of, you have respect here, and we give respect because it's Jupiter. It's not really any boundaries, And, our Pluto and Scorpio generation we're still implementing, taking power control over these dark things, over dark boundaries, over having those vulnerable talks, what it looks like, having those boundaries within ourselves and how we discipline ourselves when we cross those. Because, yeah, you might think you're disciplining a Scorpio, but they're going through their dark night of the soul. Once they see that little phoenix energy, it's going to be unstoppable at that point. Either you're on or you're off, and it doesn't matter if you're on or you're off, because the fire is burning so bright and accelerating so high through an experience where it's burning, it's burning the air, it's adding color to the air. That it's not getting stuck and stagnated. Scorpio fixated on his own way of feeling an emotion or deep, not to per se lack of trust, but the awareness of trust, but not being in that space as spirit. So I commend the Pluto and Sagittarius. I have this in my 4th house, so my private life, how I'm comfortable implementing spirituality, teaching it, like progressive charts. This generation, we're in the area now, in the earlier degrees of some of the Pluto and Sag generation, but we're transforming how we experience how we take our wisdoms and take power and control over those wisdoms, and are able to manipulate those wisdoms to working for any situation, not just the situation that we went through and came out of. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're here to do. I'm realizing Pluto is in the Sagittarius, but I'm talking about as far as the natal charts, as far as looking at generation to generation, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was just amazed at and appreciative of y'all generation. Like, y'all can count on ESO. That's one of them ones that's gonna be, well, all of it, Pluto and Scorpio generation, like Pluto and Sag, y'all really took moving the torch, moving the goalpost, not being able to be nailed down because you want to experience first. Like, this generation is like, we're going to experience the Illuminati and go talk about it and change how that experience looks. We're going to change how people make memes about them, how people joke about them. We're going to change all of the cult behind closed doors teaching that Pluto and Scorpio generation is bringing to the light. They're going to take that shit back up to the dark, because if you keep going up and up like a phoenix, where's that taking you? Outer space, into the yin realm. Not even per se just because it's up, because we don't even know if that is up. It's up to us when we are laying down. Learn how to stand on 2 feet. So that direction up isn't even up. Like, east being north to us isn't even north to us. Now we're standing up. Now we're like babies, just bouncing, looking, moving necks all around and stuff like that. So how you teaching the school system's just about grades, not even on hand. So now you got AI, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's hands-on, unless you're online or things of that nature. When things get back to that energy, once, you know what I'm saying, Jupiter goes back direct in 2024. I've seen across there, like I feel like Jupiter and Uranus being in retrograde this entire year before even going going to go direct, or when Jupiter was in Aries, taking our individual selves and things of that nature. But now we got Mercury and the Sun in Sagittarius. We're consciously aware of our experiences and the things that we experience and the things that took power control of, and how we are relating people as a whole, and how others are relating themselves, relating their experiences with their wisdoms and meanings and reasonings, and not per se the knowledge and the growth. And the Sun is helping Mercury out, and Mercury is being a little shit to the Sun, but Mercury's been in the later degrees, so it's got more experience of the being the debilitation, you know. But yeah, death and rebirth of all wisdom, knowledge, teaching, experiences is so expansive. Taking power control over how you measure how far one is going, taking power control over the direction that they're going, especially being raised by a Pluto and Scorpio generation, that the world is heavy and dark, but at the same time, like, you can still protect yourself, protect your energy, protecting your chakra. That's what we're teaching them, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do that while go out and experiencing these things with others, because we're just looking at like a more progressive world of taking the things that we transmuted into making heavy, you know what I'm saying, from Pluto and Libra. You're taking relationships, making them heavy, and just relating, experiencing the cult just for the sake of relating, experiencing the cult, and attaching and detaching from experiences, knowing that there's several different experiences to be had, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's so unique and dope, you know what I'm saying? Thank you.